Hello and welcome to Topham Chats, the show where I chat to various members of the Rooster Teeth community. My guest today is Gi Goku. Hey man, how's it going?
Doing well.
Excellent. So let's start as I always start with Rooster Teeth or Achievement Hunter.
Ooh, tough question.
Yes, it is, and it's also one of my favourite tasks.
Yes. Probably because I started on the Rooster Teeth side, I have to say Rooster Teeth.
Okay, cool. How did you discover it as well? I know that you've been on. I looked at your profile earlier, so I've seen that you've been on the site for 9 years, I think.
Yep. On May the 4th. So May the 4th be with you.
Will be your 10th year as well, won't it? Oh,
yeah, this is gonna be my 10th year. Yeah, actually, I found it because of I found Rooster Teeth because of a friend who showed me Red versus Blue on the library computer.
Okay. Do you know whenabouts that would have been? That would have been season 3 kind of time?
Roughly, actually, season 2. I didn't actually join the community until later, but I did watch some of the the first season.
Okay, cool. So what prompted you to join the community site?
Well, I mean, at the time, it wasn't as integrated as it is, but there was a sense of community. And where I live, back at home, I'm at college right now. There's not much to do in town. So found the internet, found Rooster Teeth, started meeting people, dealt with my fair share of trolls. But the community's gotten better since then.
Okay, cool. And that's actually one of the questions I wanted to ask. How have you seen the community evolve over the time that you've been active on the site? And have you been active for the whole length of time?
Have on various levels of active, depending on how I felt. But in the past few years, I've gotten more involved in the community. I've gotten more involved. First few years, here and there.
Okay. It's because I've been on the site for 7 and a bit years, but I actually haven't only used it. I only really used it for like the last 3 or so. Yeah. So it's just like, kind of, you can have an account for a while, but it doesn't mean much if you're not active.
Yeah.
Cool. So you discovered. So would you say the community's become more kind of accepting over the past few years, or recently, or has it always been open and welcome? Come on in and have a good time.
I think it's been come on in, have a good time for the most part since the beginning. But in the beginning, I also ran into the most trolls at the time. But also, I mean, the community's cleaned up its act some because there are parts of, like any site, there are parts of the community that were not as forgiving, let's just say.
Okay. Yeah. It's not something I actually notice anymore. Like if I'm watching videos on the site, it used to always be the race to get the first comment or something like that. It's pretty much
it was the YouTube
hobby and things like that. And now it's the YouTube comments kind of side of things, and the first comments on things have kind of gone away. Especially over like the last week, it's kind of been a bit crazy. Like the first comments on the journals have all been like, I'm gonna use this as an example. The Monty News. It's someone being like, that's something we care about. Thanks for letting us know, but now we're all going to be sad together. It's the Funhouse News, and everyone's like, this is awesome news, rather than someone actually just posting first, which is something I've noticed is a significant difference.
Yeah, I mean, that has gone away. I mean, it's a trend with almost any community I've seen, is that once it gets large enough, people start saying first, and then that gets just annoying. But then once you're part of a community and people get to know you, you actually have more interesting conversations with people. Is what?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and you'll start to get like people's opinions out rather than just, I'm first, woohoo. You'll get, that was good or that was bad, and they were posting first, great, and everything. people will be able to read quickly and be like, actually give some useful stuff straight off the bat rather than being like, yeah, I'm the first one here, I'm the best. So yeah. Cool. So where was I going to go? Oh, I've already kind of touched upon it, but the fact that over the last week and a bit, it's been all the news about Monty and then the Funhouse thing. We might talk a bit about the Funhouse thing in a minute, but how did you handle that, and what did you see in the community in relation to all the news that was going on?
I think first besides his passing, which I'm deeply sad about because I would love to meet him at RTX this year, which I plan on going.
Yeah.
But when it's your time, it's your time. But before that, I think there was a great calling for everyone coming together when they announced he was in the hospital. I think that's what pretty much was the catalyst that brought as many people together as possible. But then those who are not as active on the site hear about it on Twitter and Facebook, just bring it up on Google News. I mean, Monty's passing even made New York Times.
Yeah.
But I think hearing that he was ill brought a lot of people together.
Yeah, it brought the best side of the community out, which is something that, and not necessarily that news, but the charity streams and things like that always brings out the best side of the community.
Oh, yeah. And actually, last I checked, they were at like $210,000.
That's an incredible amount.
This was for paying his medical bills, where their goal, they quadrupled their original goal, which hats off to everyone.
Goal. Yeah.
I even donated a little money that I could spare from my budget, but it was for a good cause.
Yeah, same here. It's like, I felt good donating. It's one of those things everyone's like, oh yeah, donate, it's great. And in our community, it's definitely a case of people will donate because they know what it means to them, but they also know what it means to the people they're donating towards, and it's just a great thing to see as well. It's been wonderful to see over the last week.
And then, I mean, for his passing, I took a few quiet minutes, even had a cry, but took a few minutes to absorb.
Yeah, it took me some time as well. It was I definitely was thinking about it because the post Matt put up, I was like, I read it, and I'm not the best at reading things and understanding them. Yeah. And then I watched Meg's video on the No, and I was just like, oh god, I'm a blubbering mess, because that's how I interact with Rooster Teeth. That's how I get information from their staff. Like, I have to watch a video to understand what they're saying. Just seeing it in a journal to me is just words and things like that. My friends and things like that, I can read what they say and everything like that, and that's fine. But
just not the
to get
staff
news like that,
people.
The staff, it just doesn't really tick with me because they have the ability to put a video out and let me know what they're going through, and it allows me to see things, and it makes it a lot more real to me. And that's actually something I realized over the last week as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, I understood the Matt's journal right away. Which made me sad, and that's what made me take a few minutes to have a quiet few minutes.
Yeah.
Time.
Yeah, we were all in a group chat as well, aren't we? Because of the Cards Against Humanity game that we played the other day. And Pauline was like, "Should I watch Meg's video?" And I was just like, "No, just don't watch it. If you understand what's gone on, just don't watch it. It's probably one of the hardest videos that I've tried to watch all year."
And then I gave her props on both her page, her journal she posted about it, and on YouTube and on her Twitter, saying that her passing was one of the hardest things she's done.
Yeah, it definitely seems it as well, because of the way that they were, like, she was introduced to Rooster Teeth as well, and the whole Monty, her, and Gavin story as well. It's just like, oh my god, just like, oh god,
right in the heart.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And actually,
should we move away from the sad news?
Well, yeah, but I actually, before anything else, I want to give props to the RT admins and technical staff because just due to the sheer overload that the Rooster Teeth site had on that day,
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're doing their best to keep the site from crashing and pretty much exploding every 5 seconds.
Yeah, and they were obviously going to be grieving as well. So
Yeah, and
massive
on
props
top
to
of
them
that,
because
and so props to Adam.
Adam and yeah, and the rest of the
But
tech
yeah,
team.
okay.
Anyway, yeah, let's move on. So yeah, Rooster Teeth now has Funhouse as well. What was it? What's been your impression of their I don't know of the news of them joining
Fun. Oh,
Funhouse, the Inside Gaming guys. That's their new
oh yeah,
brand
yeah.
name kind of thing.
I hadn't really heard of Inside Gaming before,
Okay.
but I just thought, oh, I mean, this is going to end up. Might end up along the lines of achievement hunt, something like Achievement Hunter. Cool.
Yeah.
That's.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the first thought in my mind. Like, okay.
Cool. Yeah, they should have a podcast coming out the day we're recording this, not the day this is going up.
Oh.
So I'm definitely going to be checking that out because Bernie's going to guest on it as well. It actually might be out now. I just haven't checked YouTube. I've been watching rugby all day. I plan to watch rugby for the next few hours as well. So it's kind of irrelevant. Yeah, the only really real thing I know about the Funhouse or Inside Gaming guys is what Adam Kovic did on the Gauntlet Season 2. And then everyone's like, oh, these guys are pretty cool. And I see quite a lot of people being like, oh, Inside Gaming, they're awesome. And I've actually seen people leave the Rooster Teeth site because they're like, oh, the Inside Gaming guys are much better. And now they're going to be back because that's where Inside Gaming are. So like, yeah, that's a weird way of things to go.
Yeah.
So I want to ask a little bit about something completely kind of unrelated, but I see a lot of your the pictures that you've got on the Rooster Teeth site and a lot of not necessarily your journals. I don't know. I should read more of those. But but on your front page for sure, it definitely says a lot about anime. What kind of anime do you enjoy? Because I know there are many different styles.
I mean, I won't say I'm an otaku, but I'm an avid fan of anime.
Yeah.
The only thing I won't touch is the yaoi, but that's just because I'm a guy. Yeah. Just
Yeah,
my own
no one
reasons.
wants to. Yeah, just weird.
Too much. But I think there's. I mean, I think it's more because of a story that I watch anime more than American cartoons. Because yes, anime they don't go on for like 20 years unless it's One Piece, Detective Conan.
Bleach.
Well, Bleach technically is over, but
Oh, is it? I have no idea.
yeah, Naruto.
I just know there was like hundreds and hundreds of episodes.
Yeah, so yeah, you get the point. But
Yeah.
what was it? Oh yeah. For the most part, the American shows that I do watch all have a story and or less than 100 episodes usually.
Mm-hmm.
So your Avatar, Last Airbender movie sucked. But that kind of stuff. Stuff like that,
okay.
it has a overall story to it, I'm fine with. But for the most part, I can't seem to. I mean, I'll enjoy an episode of Family Guy here and there, but I'd rather watch anime because there's story and you can actually relate. You can connect to the characters.
Okay, so what are some of your favorites?
Oh,
I know, more difficult questions. What a shame.
no, it's the one question, and that's the one question that drives every anime fan nuts. Is it your favorite? You simply don't have one.
Yeah.
I would have to say my favorites would be some of the classics of Cowboy Bebop, Outlaw Star, Tenchi Muyo, Rurouni Kenshin, and some of the newer shows out there that I do like. What was it called? Oh, there's always Hellsing.
Yep.
Gore. Claymore was good.
Oh, Claymore's actually my favorite.
Okay.
but that's just because like I started reading it and someone was like, "Oh, this is awesome," and we watched the anime, but I also read the manga, and like the manga for the first, I can't remember however many volumes it is that it reaches up to like until like the last 5 episodes. It's word for word identical.
Oh yeah,
and then it goes off, and the manga keeps going, and it's one of my favorite stories actually.
Yeah, I mean, there's Full Metal. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood was very well done. Still one of my favorites. And Full Metal Panic. That's hilarious. It's robots in comedy. But I mean, most genres I'll at least watch, and for most anime, I'm on the fence about it if I haven't read the manga before, or if I just hear what other people read about it. I read what other people say about it.
Yeah.
And pretty much if I don't like it within the first 2 or 3 episodes, I usually either put it aside, saying this might be just a rainy day, I'm bored out of my mind, and I'm caught up on everything else anime, or I just say, not for me.
Cool. So, going off again on a different tangent, do you play many games? And
I do play, a handful of games. Most recently because I'm at college and no Xbox. I've been playing a lot of Bravely Default, Super Smash Brothers, 3DS. Let's see, nice. Project Cross Zone for the 3DS. Got a couple computer games, old school games of Command and Conquer, Civilization 3.
Nice, some RTSs there. Actually, I haven't really got into any of the strategy games. I played Civ Rev when it was free on Gold, downloaded it, and I'm like, this is fun. And then like, I played it. I might have played 3 or 4 campaigns, and I was like, I'm done with real time strategy games for a while.
Oh yeah, everyone could play FPS, but you have to have the patience and the frame of mind to play a real time strategy.
Yeah.
Just look at the Koreans. If you lose like 100th of a second, you are no longer pro. And this is talking about StarCraft, where it's a national pastime over there.
Yeah, that's a crazy. I don't know what I want to say about that actually, because it's just massive over there. I'm just like, oh my god, what? Just craziness. Yeah, it's Nope, I don't know where I'm going with that thought, so I'll just abandon it and jump straight off. So you're hoping to go to RTX this year, yes?
Oh yes, I'm just waiting for it. I'm still talking with people, see if I can get a room with people, and then I'm going to probably wait till the end of the month before I start looking for an airline ticket. Because I'm looking at some of the airlines out there, and I'm just going to wait until they post their cheaper prices in the spring.
Okay. Yeah.
Or I'm waiting for them to at least put out their schedule for their flights, because one airline has it right before RTX, the week before RTX.
That's
but no returning flights.
Yeah.
So I'm just like,
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm all booked up to go, so I'm like really excited because I get to meet so many people. I'm just like, oh my god, all the people I get to meet. So like that's one of the reasons I'm like, I'm like a lot of the people that I want to be talking to over the next few months is definitely gonna be like people that are going to RTX as well, and they're like, yes, what are we gonna do? Shenanigans, woohoo! And just like get things done, because it's just
I think that's half of the comedy that is Rooster Teeth community. The pure shenanigans we pull with each other.
I know, so good. Yeah, it's just like that the other night when, like, I think it was like 2 weeks ago now, like, and it was just like, oh, we're playing Cards Against Humanity, and then everyone just jumped in. It's just like, oh, we were just going to play with the scientists, and then other people came in. It was like, oh my god, there's so many of us, and it just like escalated so quick, and it was just like there was like I don't know. 16 or 17 of us playing, and it was just like, this is the best because it's so much fun.
And then we had like up to 10 people actually playing at one point, and then everyone else was just spectating.
Yeah, and we had a Skype call going as well, and everyone was just like, this is the best. We just had it was so good. It's just the way things can escalate, and just like, I'm playing a game, and everyone's like, we're playing with you, woo.
Yeah, I think done. I mean, that card that I took that screenshot of, that card set, is still hilarious. The black hole question, the black hole card.
Yeah. You look at it, it's just like, oh dear, everyone's a terrible person, but they're also brilliant.
We have a black hole sucking up other black holes. A black hole sucking up Caleb. Oh. And then the other, I can't remember the third one because that wasn't as funny. But somehow, and I remember correctly, the black hole sucking up black hole won.
Fair enough.
Just like,
Well, a scientist clearly chose that.
Yes.
Cool. Right, I guess we reached near the end of the show, where I kind of would like you to ask me a question so I can overshare, and then people see that I'm a vulnerable human being too.
What got you into starting all these conversations?
Ooh, that's a good question. I saw other people doing it around the community. I saw someone doing it. And I was like, I kind of want to do that, but I want to just chat to various people, and I'll have the same. I wanted to have just a few people on and just have the same guests, but that became unviable to do. So I was
also, it might end up being a little repetitive and boring.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm like, if I were to have the same guests, it wouldn't take the same format. I would just try and like have some topics that I'd like to talk about and do that. But it just came around because I was like, oh, someone isn't doing this anymore, and I kind of want to do it. And there's a lot of people out there, and things work in different ways, and the community is constantly evolving. And I post a journal every day, and I get a few people interacting with me, and it's just one of those things. I see, oh, this person's doing an awesome thing, or, oh, this person's on the community channel doing videos. So I want to see what their creative process is. I kind of want to pry into how other people come up with ideas and things like that, and how they develop their ideas as well, and how they interact with community, how they've seen the community development. It's more about, I want to learn things from other people, and I can do that in a recorded format with this, and then I can be like, oh, I'm great, yay, and I can have something out of it. And one of my goals last year was to get a podcast going. I'm now over 30 episodes on this one, and it's just, for me, it's been great to just get something done and have something to do every single week and make sure I get everything done week by week, which is very, very enjoyable for me. But it's also helped me fuel my desire to do other things as well in kind of the radio area, which is something I'm really looking at the moment, but it's just taking a little longer than I was anticipating, but that's okay because I've got plenty of time. And yeah, this is working well, and I'm happy with it. And I just like chatting to people as well, and it's a lot of fun, and I'm just naturally curious, and just people say interesting things. So I just want to do it because I think people are interesting, and I want to speak to everyone. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it does.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for being my guest this week.
Oh, you're very welcome.
And with that, thank you everyone for listening. Goodbye.